Welcome back, dear listeners, to another gripping tale of love, danger, and mystery. You've tuned into Daily Stress Busters, where each story holds secrets waiting to unfold. Tonight, we begin an electrifying new journey, a romantic thriller titled The Silent Witness. Settle in, let your imagination take flight, and allow yourself to be drawn into the shadowy world of art, crime, and unexpected connection. This is Chapter 1. The Painted Prison. Emily Harper lived a life framed by canvas and color. Her apartment, perched on the 6th floor of an aging brownstone, was her sanctuary and her cage. The city pulsed outside, a vibrant organism of light, noise, and chaos, but Emily chose to keep her distance. The world beyond her studio was too loud, too unpredictable. Instead, she poured her emotions into her art, vivid landscapes and abstract emotions that hung silent on gallery walls. That evening, the city hummed under a velvet sky. The hum of distant sirens and the rhythm of footsteps on the pavement below were her lullabies. Emily's latest work, an explosion of reds and golds, leaned against the wall unfinished. She found herself restless, pacing her dimly lit studio as though something unspoken was tugging at her spirit. Emily often sought inspiration in the lives of others. Glimpses of humanity caught through her window. Across the street, another building mirrored hers. Windows were portals into a dozen untold stories. Tonight, one particular apartment caught her eye. The window was brightly lit, revealing a man pacing back and forth. He seemed agitated, speaking on a phone and gesturing wildly. Emily couldn't hear him, but his body language spoke volumes. She had just begun to sketch the scene, a habit of hers, when something intrigued her. When the door behind the man flew open, a second figure entered, dark and imposing, like a shadow come to life. What happened next unfolded so quickly that Emily barely had time to process it. A flash of silver. The man across the street crumpled to the floor. Emily froze, her pencil suspended mid-air. Her heartbeat thundered in her ears as the shadowed figure leaned over the lifeless body, then turned sharply toward the window. Emily instinctively dropped to the floor, her breath shallow and her hands trembling. Had they seen her? Her mind raced, but her hands acted with precision, capturing the scene with haunting accuracy. The sketch was raw, the details etched by adrenaline, the man's startled expression, the arc of the blade, the shadow's menacing stance. Emily stared at her work, horrified and transfixed. This wasn't just art, it was evidence. Summoning every ounce of courage, she reached for her phone and dialed 911. Her voice trembled as she described the crime, her eyes darting toward the window, half expecting the killer to reappear. The dispatcher assured her help was on the way, but Emily felt no comfort. She had crossed an invisible line, stepping out of her safe, solitary world and into a dangerous unknown. Minutes later, the wail of sirens shattered the stillness of the night. Red and blue lights painted her walls in rhythmic flashes. Emily opened her door cautiously, her breath catching as a figure stepped into view. Detective Ryan Cole was nothing like she'd imagined. He moved with quiet confidence, his dark eyes scanning the room with an intensity that made her feel both scrutinized and safe. He introduced himself, but his attention soon shifted to the sketch lying on her table. Something unspoken passed between them in that moment. The lines of the drawing seemed to mirror the tension between them. Sharp, deliberate, and electric. And so, the night's silence was broken, not by the brush of paint against canvas, but by the piercing cry of sirens and the weight of a shared gaze. Emily Harper's world of solitude had been shattered, her art now entangled in a web of secrets and danger. Across the thin veil of night, a life was taken, a killer roamed free, and an unlikely bond was born amidst the chaos. Here is our tonight's poetic verse. A witness in silence, a canvas of dread, a life interrupted by secrets unsaid. The shadows now dance where the light once lay, and the heart of the artist must guide her way. Who was the man in the shadows? And why does Emily sense the weight of something deeper in Detective Cole's gaze? Join us for Chapter 2, The Reluctant Witness, where the layers of mystery deepen and the danger inches closer to Emily's door at Daily Stress Busters. But tell me, my lovely listeners, if you were in Emily's place, Would you risk your life to tell the truth, or stay silent and safe? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, stay safe and keep your hearts open to the stories waiting to be told.